So hi everyone, thank you so much for coming to watch my video. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Shola and this is DNVlogsLife. If you enjoy what you're watching, I will say that in the middle. Please feel free to subscribe, thumbs up this video, and let me know, have you ever had such an experience before that kind of made you reevaluate where you go to worship? A little bit about myself and a little bit of background. I was brought up Anglican and I grew up going to an Anglican church. I grew up going to an Anglican school, private school, and my family, we did daily devotions at night, and everybody was entitled to their own relationship with God. When I started boarding school, I went to a Catholic boarding school for Catholic secondary school for one semester, and then the next semester I was transferred to a federal government school, and there was that was where I developed a relationship with God. When I say I developed a relationship with God, on May the 8th, 1988, a classmate of mine told me about Jesus. Not that I didn't know about Jesus, but I didn't know all the things about having a relationship with him. I knew about, okay, you're a Christian, that's it. I didn't know anything other than that. I didn't know about being born again. I didn't know about speaking in tongues. I didn't know about anything of that sort. I just kind of followed my parents. Wherever they went, I went. So she told me about Jesus, and I had an encounter with Christ. So personal encounter, and that was where I became saved. So glory to God. I thank God for that. So when I became a Christian, what happened was that, I did what I could to build a relationship, have my own personal relationship with God, which, if I can tell all parents like right now, if you're a parent and you are someone that you're a Christian and you are one person that your child, you're always like kind of making them like, you must go to church, you must do this, you must do this, you must do that, but you don't talk more about the relationship aspect of having a relationship with God on your own, having a relationship with Jesus on your own, you are causing wahala, problem. You are not setting them up for the best. I believe as a parent, our biggest gift would be to teach our children that, you have to have a relationship with God. Not that, do what I say. We have to have devotion, 1 hour devotion before we wake up, before we go to school. We're in no time. You can't do this, you can't do that. A lot of do's and don'ts, and all this fear of God, as God is going to strike you down if you don't do this, if you don't do that. God is going to, the reason why you are sick is because God is punishing you for that. All that scare tactic, I don't believe in that. So I and my husband, I'm really happy that when I met him, he's a Christian, and I met him, and I and him, we have the same philosophy of having our children also have their own personal relationship with God, which I'm so grateful right now, because my daughter, who is 19 years old and she's in college right now, she has her own church. She goes to church regardless of anything. She has her own relationship with God, and I pray that it sustains after all these years, and she meets somebody, a husband, a boy that also believes in the same thing. So let's go and fast forward to when we relocated to Houston, Texas. So we relocated to Houston, Texas while I was 6 months pregnant or so with my oldest daughter, about nearly 20 years ago now. And when we relocated to Houston, we were happy because we're going to a location where there were Nigerians, and my husband was more thrilled than I was, because I could care less. When I was in college, let me go back a little bit. When I was in college, I went to a Baptist Students Union. I joined the Baptist Students Union, and I loved the fellowship, so I was always going to Baptist, right? But when I was on my own, I also went to Baptist most of the time. I did go to Assemblies of God a little bit, but then I switched over and started going to Baptist again. So when my husband said we're going to a Nigerian church, I was like, Nigerian church, I've heard so much about Nigerian church, God help me. We was like, Shola, don't worry, we'll go. So anyway, so we went to this Nigerian church. This Nigerian church is very, very popular. I'm not gonna say the name. Huge. It's all over, every corner you turn, it is there. So we went to this church, which was about an hour and a half away from us. If you're a mother, you know, if you are nursing a baby, my baby was how old? Very, very young. You know the wahala of getting ready for church, driving. There were times that on the highway, we had to park on the side of the highway so that I could breastfeed this girl. I carried my breast pump around with me everywhere, because when we went to the church, the first thing that I noticed was when we went to the church, me and my husband were very, very simple people. We wear what we have. So I wore skirt and blouse. Skirt and blouse is just a simple blouse, a simple skirt. What I have is what I wear. Pretty much looks like church outfit, I don't know. But I got eyes. The women at the church were giving me eyes, corner eyes, like, what is she wearing? That I didn't like. And because I spoke English most of the time, I do speak Yoruba. Omo Yoruba ni mi mo de so Yoruba gani. So I speak Yoruba, but I don't speak it out until someone speaks it to me like that. If I don't know you, I don't talk so much to you. So anyway, so I didn't talk much. So those women, I believe they assumed I couldn't hear Yoruba. What they were saying was not godly. I didn't appreciate all the sly remarks they were making. One remark that really touched me was about my daughter. My daughter had baldness on the back of her hair, and they proceeded to say she wasn't pretty. They said a whole bunch of stuff that made me really sad. I kept most of this with my husband because my husband was really happy associating with different Nigerians, associating with his friends. After church, I'll go into the car to feed my baby, and he'll stay out there for 30 minutes longer talking with his friends. Then after that, we'll proceed to going over from one engagement, somebody is doing naming ceremony, to another, and we're there all night. Very, very tiring. Now, the thing that broke the camel's back was one day when someone called us from the church and told us what to wear. Yes, what we wear. So that was just like, what is this? Needless to say, we still complied. And then the next thing, they proceeded to telling us our car wasn't good enough. And that was the end of it. My husband decided, no more. If you come and my car, what does my car have to do with me coming to your church? But anyway, so the competition was too much. We couldn't keep up with it. Competition. We were young couples. We're just 2 years wedded with very little income, and we just couldn't keep up. The focus was more on showing appearance, showing who is richer, showing who is bigger, showing who has the most elaborate whatever, and it wasn't focused on God. So that was the main reason why we stopped attending the Nigerian church for a long time. We switched over to attending an American church. We first went to a Baptist church for a long time, then we switched over to attending a more non-denominational church, and now, disclaimer, yeah, we are back to attending another Nigerian church, which we absolutely love. So and we actually weren't the ones that decided to go back to this church. My children actually wanted to go to a Nigerian church. So that is my story. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.